Hello. So I'm just wrapping up my day and working feverishly, no pun intended, YouTube. I know you take this stuff very seriously, especially when it comes to channels that don't make you much money. But I've been working feverishly trying to complete this video that, it's actually a moot point at this point because YouTube decided to repost the video before I could get this done. It would have been much better if they reposted it after I made this video, and then, basically it would look like, ooh, I got some power. So yeah, I went out to a location and I made a bunch of video, and I've attempted to edit it into a cohesive story, although some of you probably know I'm not that good at that. But anyway, I'm going to post it here because I put that much effort into it, even though it's a moot point. So without further ado, here it is. Hello. Today is Monday, December 26th, 2022. I regret having to tell you that I owe each and every one of you a huge apology. So before I get started, let me explain so you know what I'm talking about. This morning I wake up, I turn my computer on, and the first thing I see is this. Your content was removed due to a violation of our community guidelines. Because it's the first time, this is just a warning. If it happens again, your channel will get a strike, and you won't be able to do things like upload, post, or live stream for 1 week. Okay. At that point, it's almost like a game. Which video are they talking about? That's what your guessing game, right? So it's first thing in the morning. I basically have two channels that I upload videos to. Some people that go on this channel may not know about that or may not know about my other channel, but I have two channels. So my first assumption is that it was one from the other channel. I'll show you that here. And if it was from this channel, I thought maybe it was, the video from yesterday. I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago where I posted a video where I went into the theaters and I saw Avatar on the screen. YouTube already chopped a big chunk out of that before they would allow that to be posted. Initially, when I published that video, YouTube said it can't be seen by anyone until certain sections were removed. So I allowed them to remove whatever they wanted to. I thought, okay, well, maybe they could still see a couple of images because they are there of the Avatar movie, and maybe that's the problem. I don't know. Maybe it's the other channel. Because on the other channel, one of my recent videos, I titled the video, actually it's my most recent video on that channel, I titled the video the same as another YouTuber's actual channel. So it may be a little deceptive that maybe that's them. I guess that's what I was thinking. Maybe that could be the problem. And never in my wildest dreams did I think it was actually the video I posted yesterday on this channel. So I'm going to try to explain. I'm not really good with words, actually. Sometimes when I turn on the video, when I turn on the camera, I can't think of anything to say. Don't get me wrong. Later, after I post the video on YouTube and I'm watching it, I can think of all kinds of things I should have said and things that I shouldn't have said maybe, or things that could be cut out to make it even shorter. I like to make the videos as short as possible, and they're often, trying to get 10 minutes down from 1 hour worth of video that I take, which takes a long time to edit. So that's why it's particularly disturbing that you get a strike in the middle of the night without any warning. So this strike was for my video yesterday, and let me explain the video to you a little bit. I was watching a couple of videos recently on YouTube that were from, mainstream media or other people posting things about what's going on in China right now, and the mayhem and the death and the destruction, and, refrigerator cars lined up, hearses all filling a parking lot, which, I thought was already kind of questionable, because if the hearses are filling a parking lot, that means they're not going out and picking up bodies, doesn't it? It kind of made me question what's going on. I mean, you can't refute the refrigerator cars if there's all kinds of refrigerator containers that are outside of a hospital, outside of a morgue. You can't really say anything about that. That's probably what's going on. But I thought, you know what? Let me go out and check this for myself. So I get my little GPS out, I put in my GPS. I ended up going to a couple of places that you would expect to see either dead bodies or these refrigerator cars lined up, or tons of hearses or whatever. I mean, I wanted to go and see it for myself, so I went out there. And I don't want to explain exactly what I saw because maybe that's enough to have another strike and then I won't be able to upload for a week. I'm not sure. But let's just say what I found was not exactly the same as what I saw on the mainstream media. As a matter of fact, it was diametrically opposite. Is that saying too much? I don't know. But I also showed in that video, I also showed how there was a lineup. I'll draw you a little sketch here. There was a lineup outside of a hospital for PCR tests. And there was an entrance to the hospital that had to be left open. So the line of 50 to 60 people went right up to the entrance of the hospital, and then they only allowed 3 people at a time in an area where maybe they could hold 20. They only allowed 3 people at a time to cross the entrance to the hospital to go to get the PCR test. And meanwhile, there's 50 to 60 people lined up behind that. I did mention how that could potentially be mistaken by mainstream media. If they were to drive past there with their camera, they may actually mistake that as a lineup for the hospital of deathly sick people or, whatever's going on. I also, during that video, I also ended up going to see a fever clinic. And the fever clinic had no people lined up. They had these queues, those barrier queues they set up. They set up an area that I would have to estimate looked like it could hold, 300 or 400 people. There was nobody there. And then there's an entrance into the hospital itself, into the fever clinic. There was nobody there. There was maybe 1 person or 2 people going into the hospital. It was nothing. Oh, sorry, maybe I'm saying too much. At no point did I say COVID doesn't exist, which is apparently related to their community guidelines infraction that I've incurred here. As a matter of fact, the day before in the video, I mentioned that 99.9% of the people in Shenzhen are wearing masks. Why do you think they're wearing masks? Look at this guy behind me here, a huge Bai guy. He's suited up for the COVID. He's definitely not going to be getting anything. And I think he's trying to hug me because he feels bad for me. So, like I said, at no point did I say anything about there not being COVID. That's just not true. And I know that there's COVID. I hear at night. I can hear in the apartment to my right, the apartment to my left, and the apartment above me. I can hear people coughing lungs up all through the night. I don't know what they're sick with. It could be a common cold or another flu, but I kind of have to assume that it's probably COVID. As a matter of fact, I know the one to the left is COVID because she actually reported it to me, and so I know that she has COVID. If I would have gone out and made a video that said the city of Shenzhen is falling apart at the seams, and that the health department just can't deal with all this illness, then probably I wouldn't have been in trouble with this community guidelines. But if you actually show what you actually see, then so it's it has something to do with a narrative, in my opinion. But the more troubling thing is that you could wake up and find that you have a community guidelines problem, and you didn't intend to do that, and you have no idea what it's about, but it's there. So, and they're telling you, if you do it again, then you're going to be in big trouble. So, how do you know if you've done it again, or after you post the video and you go public with it, how do you know that whether or not they're going to think that's along the same lines of causing problems? I just personally, I just go out and normally make videos about things that I see, things that I observe. So that's what yesterday's video was as well. I wasn't intending to stray from the narrative. If the narrative met what I saw, I would have showed you that. That's not what I saw. Oh, sorry. Maybe I'm saying too much. But anyway, I just wanted to let you know that I'm very sorry for not following the narrative and showing you things that maybe are too much for people to see. That's my apology. Now, I just want to end this with one other tip before I go, that as you get older, don't eat too much sugar. It can cause you all kinds of pains and aches and stuff, so don't do that. And thanks for watching, and see you next time.